Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. So in this video I've got like two things to share with you. One is obviously the news which I want to share with you, which is with regards to big drop in the number of international students who are coming to the UK. So we'll be talking about that. What does that mean to the students who are already here? The second one is I've got a big announcement to make, so make sure you sort of listen to it, right, if possible. So the first one is big drop in the number of students, right? So what has happened? So obviously, you know that UK government was coming up with so many changes over the last 1 year. The first one was they were restricting that you can't bring the dependents on the student visa. That was a really big change. And the second one was, if you remember, that students who actually come in here, once they're on a student visa, ideally they want to switch to a skilled worker visa, which they stay here for the next 5 years. If you don't get that skilled worker visa, you get the post-study work visa, which is only for 2 years. Then again, you've got limited amount of time for 2 years. Eventually, you need something which is more long-term, and that long-term visa was actually the skilled worker visa. And the update by the UK government was that they actually increased the salary threshold. I think the previous salary threshold was around about 28 to 30,000 pounds, and now it's like now it's increased to 38,000 pounds, which was a massive increase. So these were the two big changes, and obviously very much as expected, right? It would impact the number of students who actually wants to come and apply to the UK, right? Because with those two big changes, UK wasn't turning out to be a good destination for the international students. So basically, the Home Office figure is that there has been 16% fewer visa applications were made between July and September than in the same period in 2023. So 16% drop in number of the visa applications, and a big drop in the visa application for family members of students dropped by 89%. So remember, the obviously now the students can't bring their dependents, and for that it's a 89% drop, because obviously they can't bring their dependents. As a result, less amount of people are applying for that dependent visas. So only ones on skilled worker visa, the ones who are applying for dependent visa. But if you're on a student visa, you can't actually bring your dependents, right? Unless you are on certain research based courses, or you have got a government backed scholarship where you actually can bring the dependents, which are exceptional cases, right? So big drop there. And in terms of the total number of visa applications which were issued, so the home office said, like, the last year, like this year, they had 263,400 sponsored study visa applications were made between July and September. And what was that number last year? Last year, during the same period, the number was 312,500, right? So a massive drop from 312,500 to 263,000 study visa applications, right? So you can see that it's been big drop in terms of the students who are actually coming to the UK. And as a result, obviously universities are concerned that international students are not coming. So obviously it's going to affect their total amount of money which the universities make, because they actually rely on international students to make majority of their money, right? Because we pay 20,000 pounds on average over tuition fee. Now it might have increased, right? It's maybe 22,000 on average, whereas a local UK student just pays 10,000 pounds, right? So obviously for them it's going to be very challenging. But now, the way I think about these changes, I think in a positive light, that people are making more conscious decisions, right? When they're actually doing their applications to come to the UK, they are now critically evaluating it. For me, if I have to come to the UK, what does it actually mean? Now it's no more about, oh, if you have to go for study abroad, let's go to UK, right? Now it's great. I feel like people are actually thinking about what does that study abroad experience will actually offer them if they come to the UK, right? So you can't bring your dependents, a big change. And second one, I think for me the big one is on a skilled worker visa, when they've actually increased the salary threshold, right, to 38,000 pounds. Obviously there are exceptions on which I've made a video where you don't need a 38,000 pound of salary. But I think, because the issue is that it's very difficult anyways to get a skilled worker visa, and now given that it was already difficult and now you've got 30,000 pound threshold, it's like even more difficult, right? So at the end of the day, you might actually have to go back to your own home country, right, if you're not able to get the skilled worker visa, obviously. So again, so I think it's great, like people are critically evaluating that whether they should be going to the UK or not. And I've been talking a lot that it's a work-based experience, it's not a degree-based experience, degree-based job market. If you got experience, only then it makes sense to come to the UK for your masters, which will increase your chances for skilled worker visa. So that was a big change which I wanted to talk about and reflect on what does it mean. Now obviously for students who are here, it's good for them. there's going to be less competition from, at least from the international student side of the things, that there's less number of students actually coming up. So if you want to go for the job applications, there's going to be generally less of a competition for you guys, right? So I see that again in a positive light for you all. Now now moving to the second part of the video, which was around the big announcement which I wanted to make. And now it's not like something new. It's like, so basically I've got my own website now where you can actually connect with me more directly. So there's few things. So I'm offering like four different types of services on my website. The first one is a one-to-one call, which I've divided into two parts. So if you want to study in the UK, there's a one-to-one consultation for that. There's a second consultation which is about working in the UK, right? And there's a difference even in the pricing of these two different calls, because I know that people who are actually in India, for them is quite a bit of an investment when they want to pay someone for this paid call. So I've just reduced my price for that one. But for the working one, it's a lot of efforts from my side. So it's only £5 more, to be honest. So that's like a one-to-one consultation. So with the work one, if someone wants to review that, what should be their strategy in order to get a job in the UK, right? So I've got a sponsorship, right? So I exactly know what to do. I absolutely know it. So I've been on that sort of a journey, right? So I can help you on that one. Again, if you want me to review your CV and the cover letter, and you want me to make a CV and cover letter for you, there's another call which I've got. That's the third call on the list. And the fourth and the last one is, which is quite a significant amount of investment. So it's slightly expensive if you look on my website, but there's only going to be limited number of spaces for that call. And obviously I'll make the decision who I want to mentor. So it's a mentorship program for 2 months, right? So for 2 months, what we'll be doing is, my goal would be that I sort of I make a strategy for you guys. I work with you to make a CV and the cover letter. I work with you to think about which companies you should be applying. And at the end of that 60 days, my goal is that you get minimum of two job interview calls, right? So if somebody wants to actually get a job in the UK, that's the mentorship program for that, that I'll sort of make sure that you get minimum of two job interviews as we look into it, right? So that's the number fourth mentorship program which I have got. Obviously I just take very limited amount of students on that one, but obviously if you don't want to get that mentorship program, you have that one-to-one consultation call, which is at a significantly lower price than what the mentorship program is on. So that was few of the announcements. All the links for this will be in my description below. So I'll just mention a website link. As you scroll, you'll be able to see the services on the website listed itself, right? So with this, I hope you're aware about the big changes, which is a big drop in the number of foreign students coming to the UK. Then obviously, if you want to book a one-to-one call, the links are in the description of this video. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.